Brace yourself, because the week ahead is a master of disguise. It's creeping in under the cloak of the ordinary, a seemingly calm stretch of days. But don't let its quiet demeanor fool you for a second. This isn't just another cycle of the calendar. It's the meticulously planned setup for something monumental, a seismic shift that began today and, once it fully unfolds, cannot be undone. As the new moon quietly approaches on the 27th, the surface of life might appear still, even tranquil. This deceptive calm is precisely where most people will be caught off guard, lulled into a false sense of security. But this particular new moon isn't about a gentle reset or a soft new beginning. Oh no, it's a ruthless redirector, an agent of change that doesn't announce its arrival with trumpets, but with a subtle, almost dangerous patience. The energy isn't building in an obvious, explosive way. Instead, it's coiling, waiting, like a predator in the shadows. While the world around you might be tricked into thinking there's plenty of time, that nothing truly significant is stirring, the moon has already been making her clandestine moves behind the scenes. If you've recently experienced a door slamming shut in your life, a plan unexpectedly crumbling to dust, pay close attention. That wasn't a random setback, it was likely the moon clearing the stage, making space for something far bigger, something you can't yet comprehend. If this resonates, if you feel that tremor of truth, you're already tuning in. And there's one final stunning trick this lunar phase has up its sleeve, a twist so subtle it will evade almost everyone until it strikes at the very end of the month, poised to reconfigure everything. I'll unravel that mystery for you later, because understanding its impact is crucial. But first, there's an even more immediate current we need to navigate. Many of us have been walking a path of profound isolation lately, a sense of detachment that hasn't been accidental but part of a larger unseen design. If you felt this pulling away, know that the tides are turning. You were drawn away from the hustle and clamor of the world for a very specific reason, and now that reason itself is beginning to shift. Take a moment to reflect on the past year, perhaps even longer. Has it felt like a forced retreat? A period marked by dwindling connections and an almost gravitational pull towards solitude. Maybe friendships drifted like ships in the night, or you found yourself no longer reaching out, the desire to engage with the outer world simply fading. This wasn't a punishment or a sign of failure, it was a necessary spiritual quarantine. You were being intentionally held back from certain energetic frequencies, detoxified from the relentless noise of external influences, and shielded from patterns and entanglements that no longer served your soul's evolution. This period of quietude was a sacred preparation. And now, this very week, something is beginning to crack open. The moon starts to delicately peel back that protective, energetic layer, not with a sudden explosion, but with subtle, yet undeniably powerful invitations. A message might arrive out of the blue, an inner pull towards a forgotten passion, a compelling reason to show up in the world again. You might feel a burgeoning urge to speak your truth, to reconnect with kindred spirits, to return to parts of yourself you thought were lost, even if fear whispers doubts, even if you feel irrevocably changed. That, in fact, is the entire point. The isolation served its purpose. It wasn't meant to break you, but to meticulously prepare you for what comes next. As you step back into the world, or perhaps feel the world stepping closer to you, it's paramount to watch your cravings with a discerning eye, for not everything that glitters holds nourishment for your soul. Mark your calendars for tomorrow, May 24th, when the moon shares an intimate celestial kiss with Venus. This conjunction might appear innocent, soft, perhaps even imbued with romantic promise, but do not be deceived by its gentle appearance. This is not a mild, comforting energy. If you're not paying close attention, it could even steer you into treacherous waters. This alignment isn't primarily about fostering love. It's about amplifying longing. It's that profound, sometimes aching pull towards a person, a situation, or an idea that you can't seem to shake. A magnetic connection that feels utterly fated, even if a deeper intuition warns that it might lead you somewhere you're not meant to linger. And herein lies the crucial twist. That person, that intense craving, that obsessive thought, it's not truly about them or it. It never is. What you're experiencing is an energetic frequency, a powerful mirror designed to tempt you, to awaken dormant parts of your being, and ultimately to teach you invaluable lessons about your own desires and vulnerabilities. You might find yourself drawn into dynamics that are intoxicatingly alluring, but dangerously unstable. Someone from your past could reappear, or you might begin to fantasize intensely about a version of love or connection you haven't felt in a very long time. But understand this, the moon doesn't align with Venus merely to hand you what your ego wants. It aligns to expose, with sometimes uncomfortable clarity, what your soul truly needs for its growth. Ask yourself with radical honesty, what am I really chasing here? Is it genuine love, or am I seeking an escape from something else? Is this a desire for authentic connection, or is it a subtle play for control? This energy isn't confined to romance. It can manifest as the resurgence of old habits, persistent obsessions, or even sudden, inexplicable cravings for things you thought you'd overcome. Don't confuse sheer magnetism with true alignment. Some things, some people, pull you in with incredible force, precisely to show you what you must finally, definitively walk away from. This is one of those potent moments where the universe whispers, "Are you still falling for the same beautiful, yet ultimately unfulfilling illusion?" And just when you think you've deciphered this intricate pattern, the moon begins an even more intimate journey. You're not being haunted by your past. You're being powerfully claimed by your future, and the moon is the celestial conductor of this profound reunion. Right after that intense entanglement with Venus, the moon begins to inch ever closer to Earth. On the 25th, it reaches perihelion, its closest point to the sun, and then on the 26th, it achieves perigee, its closest approach to us. These aren't just dry astronomical facts. They are potent gravitational messages, and this time, the moon is getting incredibly personal. Have you noticed your emotions feeling thicker lately, more viscous, as if you're not just remembering past events, but viscerally reliving them? That's not just you being overly sensitive. That's the lunar gravity tightening its invisible tendrils around your very soul. This week, your emotional body is being deliberately anchored, pulled firmly into the present moment, not because everything is falling apart, but because you can no longer afford to float above what's real, what's demanding to be felt. You might notice this in small, subtle ways. A song on the radio suddenly hits with an overwhelming wave of feeling. An old photograph sends you spiraling into a vortex of memory, or you wake up feeling a distinct heaviness, not necessarily tired, but weighty, as if your very essence has more substance. This is the moon's way of commanding, feel it, not to drown you in an ocean of emotion, but to bring you fully back into your body, into the truth of your experience. And here's the potent twist. The closer the moon draws to us, the more it exhumes. Old emotions you thought were long buried, unfinished patterns of behavior, feelings you were certain were gone but were merely lying dormant beneath the surface, all are brought into the light. The moon doesn't pull you down, she pulls you in. This week isn't about desperately trying to let go, it's about courageously letting through. Because if you continue to run from what the moon is so persistently trying to show you, she will only continue her pursuit. And believe this, the next time she gets this close, you will already be someone entirely different, transformed by what you choose to face now. This isn't about gentle manifestation. This is about making a profound declaration. You must be crystal clear now, or risk getting utterly lost in the ensuing fog. May 27th. Ushers in a new moon, but cast aside any preconceived notions of a typical fresh start, the kind people love to romanticize. This new moon doesn't feel lush or fertile. It doesn't burst forth with immediate clarity or surging momentum. Instead, it carries an almost hollow quality, like stepping into a room that has been completely emptied out just hours before your arrival. The energetic imprint of what was there still faintly palpable. And yet, it is precisely this emptiness, this pregnant void, that holds the entire point. This new moon sits in a strange liminal energetic pocket. Just behind it, the memory of the moon's intense close approach to Earth still resonates. And just ahead, a powerful meeting with Jupiter, the planet of expansion and revelation, looms large. Caught directly in the middle is you, suspended somewhere between immense pressure and untapped potential, craving direction but staring at a blank page that stubbornly refuses to tell you what to write. Here's the unvarnished truth. This new moon isn't designed to give you easy answers. It's here to create the necessary space, the profound silence, so that the real, often uncomfortable questions can finally echo loud enough for you to truly hear them. This is not a moment for fluffy, idealistic manifesting. This is the kind of potent lunar moment that demands unwavering clarity, not fanciful fantasy. If you choose to write your intentions now, treat them as binding contracts. Choose your words as if you are chiseling them into stone, for this moon isn't listening to vague wishes or half-hearted hopes. It's scanning your energetic signature, your very essence, for what you are genuinely ready to commit to, body and soul. There's something almost eerie about the profound stillness of this new moon. You might feel like you're in limbo, suspended in time, but that quiet is deeply deceptive. It's not the absence of motion. It's the deeply inhaled breath before a mighty shout. And when Jupiter makes its entrance right after this pause, that breath will transform into something far, far louder. If you've been drifting, aimlessly floating on the currents of life, this is the pivotal point where you stop merely existing and start consciously deciding. Who are you truly becoming? What have you definitively outgrown? What do you need to release once and for all so that something genuinely real and aligned can finally take its place? This isn't just a blank page, it's a potential trapdoor. And the words you choose to inscribe upon it now, the declarations you make in this potent stillness, might just decide whether that door opens into a higher, more expansive reality or drops you deeper into the confusing maze of your own unresolved patterns. Be warned. Not all expansion feels like an embrace of abundance. Sometimes it's the relentless building of pressure until you finally, irrevocably burst free from your self-imposed limitations. On May 28th, the moon conjuncts Jupiter, and the energetic contrast to the preceding stillness will be immediate and striking. Yesterday's quietude transforms into today's eruption. Jupiter doesn't arrive on tiptoe. It doesn't gently tap you on the shoulder and whisper a subtle lesson. It kicks the door down, shatters complacency, and forces you to confront, to truly feel everything you've been expertly dodging. Wherever you've been muted or silenced, you might suddenly find your voice powerful and clear. Wherever you've been playing small, you might feel an undeniable urge to expand, to take up space. And if you've been bottling up emotions, suppressing your truth, don't be surprised if they rush to the surface now, raw, real, and utterly unstoppable. This is a moment of spontaneous, unadulterated truth. That thing you've been desperately trying not to say, that uncomfortable realization you didn't want to admit even to yourself. Jupiter amplifies whatever you've been sitting on, and the moon, in its close proximity, turns it into something deeply emotional, something visceral you can no longer ignore. You might experience a sudden rush of clarity, but it could be the kind of clarity that stings, the kind that demands action. You might feel an exhilarating surge of excitement or a profound sense of being overwhelmed, perhaps even both simultaneously. And here's where it gets particularly tricky. Expansion sounds wonderfully appealing, doesn't it? But not all growth feels good in the moment. Sometimes the universe intentionally makes your discomfort bigger, not to punish you, but to finally make it so unavoidable, so undeniable, that you have no choice but to address it. This alignment represents the final major planetary push before June begins its work of reshuffling timelines and rewriting personal paths. If the last few weeks have felt like an intense spiritual boot camp, this is your graduation ceremony, or perhaps for some, a necessary breakdown leading to a breakthrough, maybe even a bit of both. And crucially, watch out for the powerful temptation to escape. Jupiter rules excess. Its nature is to want more. So you might find yourself instinctively reaching for distractions, overindulging, or making impulsive decisions to avoid the intensity of the moment. Be acutely aware of what you're running toward, and more importantly, what you're running from. Jupiter doesn't just show you the truth, it magnifies it, intensifies it, until you simply cannot look away any longer. If your reality suddenly feels too loud, too demanding, it's because you're finally, truly hearing what's been echoing beneath the surface for a very long time. If you've been feeling dizzy, disoriented, or just plain strange, understand this: you're not losing your mind, you're being energetically drained and recalibrated. Between May 25th and 27th, as the moon makes its incredibly close approaches, hitting perihelion closest to the sun on the 25th, reaching perigee closest to us on the 26th, and then resetting at the new moon on the 27th, it doesn't just move through the sky, it moves through you. To most, these are just cold astronomical coordinates, distant celestial events. But for the sensitive souls, the intuitives, those who are energetically tuned in, this 3-day window can feel like an intense psychic pressure, as if the very essence of your being is being wrung out. Think of it like this: the moon is squeezing closer to both Earth and Sun, acting like a cosmic vice. And what happens when something is squeezed with such immense force? What's inside inevitably comes out. These aren't just isolated moon events. They are part of a profound energetic extraction process. During these crucial days, don't be surprised if your physical body starts acting in peculiar ways. Many people report sudden waves of dehydration even when they've been diligently drinking plenty of water. Others experience unexplained vertigo, a disconcerting disorientation, that bizarre sensation of floating while simultaneously feeling grounded. You might notice ringing in your ears that comes and goes, like static tuning in and out of a forgotten frequency. And then there's the matter of sleep, or often the distinct lack of it. Waking up inexplicably around 3:33 a.m., feeling as if something is watching you, or as if a message is trying to break through from another dimension. These are not random glitches in your system. They are direct physical and psychic reactions to the intense energetic compression happening all around you and within you. What makes this particular stretch so potent is that it's not just pulling from your immediate experience. It's dredging up material from your lineage, your deepest seated fears, your subconscious attachments. Things you genuinely thought were buried and dealt with, but were actually just sitting beneath the thin skin of your energetic field. In this phase, the moon functions like a powerful spiritual sponge, soaking up the old, the forgotten, the unresolved, and then wringing it all out through your physical body, your moods, your reactions. This isn't an illness you need to fight, it's an energetic detox, a profound purification. It's as if your entire system is actively rejecting anything dense, anything misaligned, anything you simply cannot carry with you into the next chapter of your evolution. And it's using your physical form as the conduit for this release. If you're feeling distinctly off, don't panic, but do pay meticulous attention. You are not being punished, you are being purged. And just when you think the pressure might be easing, that's precisely when the emotional plot twists truly begin. Your soul's core essence may remain steadfast, but be prepared. Your internal compass is undergoing a radical recalibration this week. Something truly strange is afoot as people, including yourself, might find themselves backpedaling on decisions, commitments dissolving like mist, and a conviction held firmly in the morning, completely reversing course by sunset. Don't fight this flux. It's the inherent chaos of profound emotional realignment. You could call it spiritual reversal syndrome, a phenomenon that occurs when energetic shifts happen too rapidly for your logical mind to keep pace. The moon itself is shifting its position and influence at an accelerated rate, all while being under immense pressure from multiple cosmic sources. Solar, planetary, and even ancestral energies are contributing to this whirlwind. So, what's the result? Your emotional instincts, those deep gut feelings you usually rely on, start to flip and flounder. That person you were utterly obsessed with just last week might suddenly seem dull, distant, or energetically off. Conversely, that thing you swore you didn't want, that path you vehemently rejected, might now be all you can think about. You might find yourself unexpectedly ghosting someone, or just as abruptly, finally responding to a message you've left unanswered for weeks, even months. You may even feel like a completely different version of yourself is suddenly steering the ship, making choices your old self wouldn't have dreamed of. And in many ways, that's exactly what's happening. This intense energetic recalibration is literally rewiring your inner compass, not because you're suddenly flaky or indecisive, but because your soul's deepest priorities are realigning at lightning speed, far faster than your conscious, rational mind can process or justify. Therefore, this week, it's crucial not to blindly trust surface-level impulses or fleeting emotional whims. What you feel in any given moment isn't always the deepest truth. Instead of impulsively acting on these fluctuating instincts, take a step back and observe them with detached curiosity. What's the underlying pattern behind this sudden pull or repulsion? What does your reversal in stance or feeling say about the old version of you that made the original decision or held the previous conviction? These reversals aren't betrayals of self. They are energetic updates, course corrections from your higher intelligence. And remember, this doesn't just apply to you, it applies to everyone around you. So, if people in your life suddenly flake on plans, drastically change their tune, backtrack on commitments, or generally surprise you with erratic behavior, try not to take it personally. Everyone is attempting to tune their own internal frequencies in real time, struggling to hear their own authentic signal amidst the pervasive static of these transformative energies. This is a week of profound recalibration. Allow yourself the grace to reorient, to feel confused, to change your mind. Just don't rush to lock anything in permanently, because what feels unequivocally true right now may evolve yet again before this potent week is even over. This week, as the new moon unfurls its strange, potent quiet and simultaneously folds itself into the powerful gravitational dance of Venus and Jupiter, something profound begins to stir, not just in the distant stars, but deep within the recesses of your psyche. You might not notice its subtle workings during the busy hours of the day, but when night falls, everything changes. Your unconscious mind doesn't just whisper this week, it broadcasts, and it uses the landscape of your dreams to deliver messages that aren't merely symbolic. They are catalytic, designed to spark transformation. Many people are already reporting an upsurge in vivid nightmares, intensely lucid dream sequences, or bizarre, fragmented images that stick in their minds for hours after waking, feeling almost more real than waking life. And while the natural instinct might be to shake them off, dismiss them as just a dream, or quickly look up generic interpretations online, I urge you, don't. This is not the kind of dreaming you're used to. These dreams are not warnings to run from. They are powerful spiritual invitations, challenges you are being dared to accept. That terrifying creature chasing you through a seemingly endless, labyrinthine hallway, it's not hunting you in the way you fear. It's herding you, guiding you towards something you need to confront. That recurring image of drowning, falling, or being trapped. It's a direct reflection, showing you precisely where your deepest resistance lives, where your energy is stuck. The monsters that populate your dreamscape this week are not inherently evil. They are messengers wearing masks, often representing your own buried selves, aspects of your shadow knocking urgently from the inside, their message clear. You're ready for this now. You can face this. When your unconscious becomes the loudest voice in the room, you'd better stop pretending you can't hear it. Don't be surprised if your dreams this week feel extraordinarily vivid, almost tactile, as if you wake up with an emotional residue, a psychic imprint still clinging to your skin. Don't be shocked if you dream of people you haven't seen or thought of in years, or find yourself in places you've never physically been but somehow intrinsically recognize. This is because the new moon, coupled with the potent vibrational influence of Jupiter and Venus, is opening a veritable wormhole in your psyche, connecting old soul threads, past life imprints, and ancestral memories to your current timeline. You're not dreaming merely for the sake of psychological processing. You are dreaming to be fundamentally rerouted, to be shown a new path. Some of the most profound guidance you're waiting for, the answers you seek, won't come through overt signs or easy synchronicities. It will emerge from the shadow, from the places within yourself you've been too scared to look. So, pay meticulous attention. Keep a dream journal by your bed. Don't dismiss anything simply because it's weird, dark, or difficult to explain. This week, your subconscious is not playing games. It's giving you direct instructions, coded in potent symbols, wrapped in rich metaphor, and delivered precisely when your conscious defenses are down. The darkness in your dreams is not your enemy, it's your initiation. People don't suddenly go distant or act erratically because they're done with you. They often do so when something deep inside them starts screaming louder than your voice, louder than their own conscious intentions. This week, the emotional weather isn't just an internal affair. It leaks. It moves through people like an invisible current, spilling into relationships and rearranging dynamics you once thought were solid and predictable. Don't be surprised if your usually bustling group chats go eerily quiet. If your most reliable friend suddenly pulls back without explanation. If someone unloads an intense emotional paragraph on you out of nowhere, or worse, offers nothing but deafening silence when you expected connection. This is a stark visual of what it looks like when the moon, in its potent phase, messes with collective and individual frequencies. Right now, people are under an immense energetic pressure they don't fully understand, even if they're not consciously aware of astrology or these subtle shifts. Their emotional bandwidth is fried, stretched to its limit, and that means they act weird, not because they're inherently fake, flaky, or suddenly over you, but because something profound inside them is recalibrating at an accelerated pace, too fast for their established identity or social masks to comfortably catch up. That friend who suddenly overshares intimate details after months of being cool and reserved, they're leaking unprocessed energy. That ex who randomly watches your social media story after a year of complete silence, they're unconsciously pinging your energetic field, drawn by the shifting currents. The person who abruptly disappears mid-conversation, leaving you hanging. They're likely overloaded, not uninterested. Remember, strange behavior isn't always a personal betrayal. More often than not, especially now, it's simply unprocessed evolution manifesting externally. Think of this period as a mass psychic software update running in the background of everyone's operating system. The closer we get to the transformative energies of June, the more things will seem to scramble, because the current potent energies are trying to forcefully shove people out of outdated emotional loops and karmic patterns. This makes humans glitch. They cancel plans for no apparent reason. They attempt to reconnect in awkward, fumbling ways. They ghost and then resurface. They confess long-held secrets. They contradict themselves within minutes. Try to hold space for this understanding. It's not primarily personal, it's planetary. But here's the crucial part. Just because it's a universal phenomenon doesn't mean you should ignore the messages embedded within these interactions. This is the week to watch very closely. Not to immediately react or accuse, but to understand. See who cracks under the pressure. See who reveals more of their true selves, perhaps unintentionally, than they ever intended. See who disappears and doesn't come back. And, just as importantly, observe who, in their messy, imperfect human way, still tries to stay close, still makes an effort to connect. This isn't the week to force clarity from others or demand explanations. It's the week to observe their chaos, their inconsistencies, and let that behavior tell you what they've been too afraid or perhaps too unconscious to say directly. And now, we arrive at the heart of the mystery, the part I hinted at from the very beginning. Remember when I said the moon had one last, almost invisible trick up its sleeve? This is it. The piece of the puzzle that doesn't look particularly important, that might even go unnoticed by most, until it suddenly, brilliantly flips the entire pattern on its head, revealing the elegant design that was there all along. Between May 28th and May 30th, something incredibly subtle is going to slip through the cracks of your awareness. It won't be loud, it won't be chaotic, it will simply feel off in a significant way. It might be a moment that seems too perfectly timed to be random, a serendipitous encounter that feels laden with unspoken meaning. Perhaps it's a message you almost delete but feel compelled to open, A dream so vivid it feels more like a memory resurfacing, or a silence between words in a conversation that says more and cuts deeper than any spoken sentiment could. That is the moment. That is the almost imperceptible shift. You won't recognize the full impact of this twist, this quiet revelation, until you look back and realize it was always there, hiding patiently inside the stillness, woven into the fabric of the seemingly ordinary. The truth is, the moon has been moving like a quiet, meticulous architect all month long. Every emotional surge, every odd encounter, every dizzying high and confusing low, it has all been part of the construction, a careful laying of energetic scaffolding, a strategic redirecting of your attention, a constant whispering in your soul, "Not yet, not here, keep going. There's more to see." And now, in these final potent days of May, the curtain begins to lift. That strange pull you've been feeling, that unshakable, weird tension humming just beneath the surface of everyday life. It's not paranoia, it's prophecy. This is the moon's grand reveal, not explosive like a firework, but surgical in its precision. A small, almost imperceptible pivot that has the power to redirect the entire trajectory of your path. Watch for it with keen awareness. An odd conversation that lingers in your mind, a decision that feels inexplicably bigger than it logically should. A coincidence so precise, so perfectly orchestrated, that it defies all probability. You may want to diligently write down your dreams during these nights, even if they make no logical sense at the time. Revisit an old note, a text message from early May that you'd forgotten. A journal entry you scribbled down without much thought. There's a thread there, a map hidden in the folds of your recent memory, something crucial you missed before. And that something, that overlooked detail, is the exact key that unlocks the potential of June. What you ignored or dismissed before is precisely the clue to what comes next. This final subtle trick of the moon isn't just a clever plot twist for the end of the month. It's the profound reveal that makes the entire story of May click into place, illuminating the path forward. So don't rush past these final days. Don't assume the end of the month signifies an end to its meaning or its messages. The moon doesn't close chapters with a loud, definitive bang. It often seals them with a potent whisper, a nuanced insight that resonates long after the moment has passed. And just when you think you've finally figured it all out, it leaves one last crucial message tucked beneath the surface, waiting patiently for the ones who are still paying close attention, the ones who are willing to look beyond the obvious. So here is your final, most important mission before the energies of June fully take hold. Stay profoundly alert. Don't rush to label or define what happens next. The true meaning of these culminating events, these subtle shifts, might not arrive until days or even weeks later, like a crucial puzzle piece that only fits once the rest of the picture has been meticulously built around it. Because May isn't truly ending. It's ceremoniously handing you a code, a key, a vital piece of energetic intelligence. And June? That's when you finally get to use it, to unlock new doors, to navigate new terrains with the wisdom gleaned from this intense, transformative period. The future doesn't always announce its arrival with fanfare and neon signs. Sometimes, often when we least expect it, it just quietly, subtly slips in when you're not looking. If you've journeyed this far, thank you for your dedicated attention. Should this resonate and you wish to explore more insights like these, please consider subscribing. Your support is deeply valued. Feel free to share your own experiences, ahas, or reflections in the comments below. Until our paths cross again, take exceptional care.